say you found the skeleton, how would you tell it's a dinosaur? You personally, how would you decide?
Well, interesting question. I don't know. I'd have to do some research on that.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Cambrian Bunny Awards, the actual awards, not the nominations. This is for 2025. So we have only considered things that were done in 2025 for these awards. So anything that happened from January on, if you're like, oh, this guy did this thing in January, it's not fair he didn't win, doesn't matter. That's for next year. We have strict
One of the
cutoffs.
nominees is a nominee this year because of that exact rule.
That was a problem last year. Yeah.
Yep, something happened in January, and then we were like, oh, damn, this should be in the Cambrian Money. He's like, nope. The rules are very strict rules.
That's the only rule that's strict.
It basically is, yeah. Yeah, that's true. Also, I want to say thank you to JHomp720 for sending 5 Dapper Dinosaur memberships. It is, in fact, very much appreciated. So, all right, well, why don't you two introduce yourselves?
Jordan, go first.
Okay.
There we go.
So I'm Jordan. Back when I had free time, I ran the YouTube channel Reason to Doubt. You can go see what's going on in my life there. The top video is that. Lately, I've been on the internet on Dapper's other channel, Top Hats Off, playing the executive officer of the Kong Z in our Star Trek Adventures Let's Play, which is a lot of fun. So if you enjoy watching other people roleplay, you should definitely come and check it out. We do it every Friday. Well, it's scheduled every Friday, whether or not it actually happens.
Look, there are times when we get more than 2 consecutive Fridays that happen. It's a thing that has happened. But, you know, sometimes people have health problems. Sometimes people have family issues come up. It happens, right? It's fine. All right, Dan, the guy who is not in the Star Trek game.
Not in the Star Trek game. Hi, I'm Dan. I'm an evolutionary biologist. My channel is Creation Myths, and what I do there is talk about why creation science is wrong in all sorts of fun ways, with a focus on the bio and genetics aspect of things. So currently I'm doing a series of very quick, like, when a creationist says this, here's 2 quick things you can say to shut them down immediately, kind of series. And just working my way through all the common creationist arguments, giving people the tools they need and they can use without being a biologist.
That's actually a really good series. I'm quite enjoying it.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Sapphire Zombie, I don't know what the whole name is because YouTube is liking to cut it. Zombie Goliath Light, there we go. Says, Dapper is the evil lurking in the quote mines. That's technically true, yeah. So one of my supporters, Kent Halstead, made a Doom 2 mod for me, and it's basically a custom level. And the plot goes that you appear in this level, and then you walk through a tunnel, and you appear at the Kenthoven Cathedral, where Kenthoven is behind the pulpit, or not, is actually behind the altar. And he tells you that you have to cleanse the demonic evil from the quote mines, which are a location underground that are called the quote mines. And it turns out that I am the evil. There's a little pixel Dapper at the last room of the quote mines that you have to defeat, and that will let you enter the Ark that Kent has built, complete with offices for some of our favorite creationists, including Andrew Snelling and Jeffrey Tompkins and a number of others, so that you can cleanse the demons from inside the Ark, so that eventually you can launch the Ark. So yeah. I don't know if he's going to make this mod like available publicly, but like if he does, I would absolutely put the download link in places. Tree Clam Tad for $2 says Dan should be in the Star Trek game as an alien professor. I mean, I have done guests on TTRPGs before, so like, you know, it's possible.
He would not be the first PhD to play a character with a specialty very close to their real life specialty.
Very, very, very true. He wouldn't even be the first one in this game to do so.
No, he would not.
Look, there's a stereotype that is a stereotype for a reason, and it is that first-time TTRPG players make characters that are very similar to themselves, with only a few significant differences. So, you know, it's... Actually, I saw a meme on the D&D YouTube page, which I don't actually watch their YouTube channel because I try not to give any attention to Wizards of the Coast, but I watch enough TTRPG material in general that their community posts come across my timeline. And one was 2 images, and one was your first TTRPG character, and there's this like guy in like a breastplate, and he's like kneeling in front of a king getting knighted or something, and then it says then the next panel is your 30th D&D character, and it's just an ooze monster running at the camera from inside of a dark cave. I was like, yeah, no, that checks out. That is accurate.
Yeah.
By the time you're getting to your 30th D&D character, you're like, yeah, I could go for a knight, or I could be the half-elf wild magic sorcerer who also happens to be the team's drug dealer.
I went from like knights and stuff to like cat burglar. That's the character. He's a cat. He's a burglar.
Yep.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
See, my thing in so I didn't do the tabletop thing, but I've got that computer back there is basically a Baldur's Gate machine. That's all that's good for. That's what that gets used for. When it gets used, it's for Baldur's Gate 3. And so my like if you think about like Skyrim, I really like being a sneaky archer kind of thing, but in Baldur's Gate, there's no subtlety to it. I am a monk, and I am going to punch you in the face, and that's it.
The thing about Skyrim is that the mechanics of the game make the stealth archer like by far the most optimal build by like a lot.
It's also a very enjoyable build because there's lots of like ways of specializing it, so you could actually use like magic with it. It's not like a straight just like sneaky rogue kind of thing. You do other cool stuff with it.
What he means is he levels up restoration magic. That's what he means. See, I know what it means. It's like, oh, get that heal spell.
No. So you could also do some fun fire things with it.
Naramda puts in the chat says, "Buddy, everyone plays stealth archer." Yeah.
No, well, that's the first time. Again, it's the first time through, but then you start doing all the magic that you can add on to it.
Then you start doing the infinite buff on alchemy thing, where you just fortify air alchemy.
That's the fun. Do the alchemy enchanting loop to make god tier gear from like an iron sword that does a bajillion damage. Yeah, that's always fun. Yeah.
Yep. Look, Skyrim is a great game that has many interesting mechanics, some of which maybe it shouldn't have.
Were not by design, but they work.
Look, this was all as intended by Todd Howard himself. He came down from on high and said, you know what? What if I could create an infinite cycle of alchemy that lets you fortify everything to the maximum?
It's not infinite. You do hit a ceiling at some point.
Okay, but it's such a high ceiling that it doesn't really matter that it's not infinite.
It's like 100. Yeah, it's like 136% for every piece of gear.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's absurd.
It's ridiculous.
But so here's the other thing: is we're actually not here just to talk about RPGs, whether CRPGs or TTRPGs. We're actually here to reveal the winners of the various awards that constitute together the Cambrian Bunny Awards. And our first award, in fact, is who was the worst behaved creationist of 2025. And to remind everyone, our options were Sal Cordova, Donnie Diels-Badinsky, Michael Johnson, and Gunter Beckley. And so I don't remember specifically what Donnie did, but I do remember that what Sal did was basically be a gigantic little bitch all over Reddit, and also not realizing that the fact that he had the most watched talk at a conference was not so much because of the fascinating talk he gave, but more for the same reason that everyone looks at the train wreck, right? Yeah. It's the same reason that I sometimes watch sovereign citizens trying to get away with things in court. It's not because of their brilliant legal minds, I promise. That is not what's going on. Olivia Williams, Purple Light for $2 says, Todd Howard, it just works. 4 times in the details. Tree Clam Tad says, Morrowind is better than Skyrim. Donnybrook me in Temecula. I'm not sure what Donnybrook me in Temecula means, but I will say Morrowind absolutely has some things that I really like about it. I think Morrowind as a place in Tamriel is more interesting than Skyrim, because it's like, okay, Skyrim's got fake Nords or fake Norse, and it's got like deer and bears and whatnot, whereas Morrowind is full of like all sorts of weird like alien bug monsters. Oh, there goes Jordan.
Come back, Jordan.
Bye, Jordan. He'll be back, I'm sure. Donnie, or Dan, do you remember what Donnie did specifically to get nominated?
So here's a funny thing. I was looking for my notes like 2 minutes ago, and I couldn't find them from the nomination. That's how on top of things we are right now.
Hope
It
Jordan
might have
comes
been
back.
it might have been for nuclear Neanderthals. No, wouldn't have been. For worst behaved, it was because he's back with Hovind.
Right, he's posting Hovind again.
He's
I
doing
forgot.
he's doing the series on Patreon with Hovind, so
Yep.
he doesn't get dinged for ban evasion on YouTube. But you can pay to do the collaboration with Hovind. Yeah, that's what it is.
By the way,
he's
I-
back with the wife beater. Why he got the nomination.
I am checking for when Jordan comes back so I can add him as soon as possible. Then we've got Mike Johnson, who was nominated for, being a fascist.
Being a Nazi. Yeah.
Yeah, who's not just being a fascist, but also is being a fascist in an elected office, which is
Right.
worse than just being a fascist in general.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not that either are okay. Just one is clearly worse, right? It's like,
Yeah.
well, I'm not a serial killer. Why did you put all that emphasis on serial?
Right. Like, well, my "I didn't kill anyone" T-shirt is raising a lot of questions.
Which are conveniently answered by my "I didn't kill anyone" T-shirt.
By my T-shirt. Yeah.
And then we have Gunter Beckley, who was, he was nominated for specifically not being a serial killer. Actually, now that I come to think about it,
That was quite the segue. You are a professional, sir.
it wasn't even planned. Honestly, I was just like, "Oh yeah, welcome back, Jordan."
Apparently, so my computer, my green screen, was showing me what it looked in OBS was different than what it looked like in StreamYard, which was also different than how it looked on YouTube.
That is confusing.
So now I'm just doing StreamYard. Maybe my hair will be less transparent now. I don't know.
I can tell you on YouTube, it is not less transparent.
No.
Well, this is all
That's
I
my
got,
fault,
bro.
though.
This
That's
this
my
is
fault.
literally everything I can do. So
It is nice though that you're giving us a talking head interview from Scranton, Pennsylvania.
Yeah. It's
yeah,
great.
I transported from the deck of the Kongzi
Yeah.
to Scranton, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
That's what I did.
All right. All right. So, in last place for the worst behaved creationist is Sal Cordova, who got only 5% of the vote.
That
So,
was my
Loser. Yeah.
expectation.
yeah. To be honest, being a petulant little bitch on Reddit is not that bad. Like whatever.
And on YouTube, to be fair. But
I
Well,
mean, it's
yeah.
basically what Reddit's for.
Yeah, that's a good point. Using Reddit for its intended purpose. So in second from last place, we have Donnie Badinsky. Because
Yep.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah. That's as expected.
It's
Yeah.
shitty, but like, whatever. Yeah. But then he had 10% of the vote. Then with 33% of the vote, we have Gunter Beckley. Which
Wow.
seems fair. I mean, he did murder someone.
I'm surprised he didn't win. I had him as the winner on that one. I'm surprised.
Well, Mike Johnson did in fact win, obviously, with 52% of the vote. And I do think that, well, let's just say Mike Johnson has helped with far more deaths than Gunter Beckley
Right.
has.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Though I will say Erica made an interesting argument, which actually, though I nominated National Socialist Mike Johnson, I voted for Gunter Beckley. And the reason being, I think Mike Johnson inarguably did the most harm of
Right.
anyone on this list. However, Gunter's was like very visceral in your face as
Right.
opposed to like less statistical, you know?
Yeah, it's
So-
like the difference between signing a death warrant and actually being the executioner.
Exactly. Like the judge might sign 1,000 death warrants, but this dude shot another dude in the face,
Yeah.
you know?
No, I get it. And like, look, I'm not going to argue that either one of those is the wrong choice. I think both of those are plausible, and I don't even think I voted in any of these. So like, yeah.
I mean, like we said during the nomination stream, we truly have an embarrassment of riches when it comes to all of the categories this year.
Oh, yeah.
Except for best.
Except best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Best was a
still-
little thin this year.
We still came up with some good options for best, I think.
Yeah. But
Um,
like there's a lot of snubs this year
oh yeah.
It
that
was
in any other year would walk away with it.
it was rough. I mean, I think Carter last year, if Carter had done the same thing in this past year, for the 2024
Wouldn't have
iteration,
even made the list.
I think he would have won 2 awards, and he got snubbed in the nominations this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he would have won 2 last year. But yeah, it was just what a field this year. Yeah.
So we also have who had the worst creationist argument in 2025. So we have Casey Luskin, Mike Johnson, Apologetics 101, and Rob Stadler. So does anyone want to go over what they were nominated for?
I recall Rob Stadler was the months long back and forth we had that culminated with him basically saying, well, God could have done it that way, so you can't test it.
Yeah. My ideas are completely untestable.
Yeah, so that was my nomination, was Rob Stadler with that god-awful argument. And then Casey Luskin was the human-chimp similarity stuff, in particular the cutting off the figure and showing only part of the figure to hide the intra-species comparisons, because that completely destroys his entire argument.
Yeah, and then pretending that, no, that wasn't why, and actually it's fine. And also saying, well, you could find it if you just went back to the original chart, but then also saying that that paper was hiding the data in the supplementals, which, again, my brother in Christ, that is where you put the data.
Amazing.
That's like saying
amazing.
That's like saying they're hiding the slushies at the 7-Eleven. That's where they are.
Nefariously advertised the slushy machine.
There they are.
Like, what?
Yeah.
My goodness. I wanted some pizza, but then Domino's kept hiding it at their store. What is wrong with them?
Crafty.
Yeah.
And then the other two, it was Apologetics 101, and what was the last one?
Mike Johnson, of course.
Oh, of course. Yes.
I actually don't remember what Apologetics 101 argued. I think it was something to do with like hydroplate, but he didn't actually.
It was a heat problem.
Oh, the heat problem, right? Oh, yeah.
It was a heat.
He said that ChatGPT had solved the heat problem for him. I forgot. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yep.
Jordan, if you want to take a crack at recalling the specifics of that one, I don't remember anything other than it was like the heat goes down and then it goes up, and on the way back up, it doesn't dissipate at all.
Bizarre. Like I was really having trouble following. Like I was struggling to make a mental model that contained it.
That's because the thing that came up with it doesn't have a mental model of anything, because it was just a large language model. So there was never a model to come up with. Okay, I want to remember everyone, if you're ever using ChatGPT, it has no idea what you're asking it or what it's saying. It is saying something that an algorithm has determined to be statistically plausible as an answer.
Right.
That's it.
Words that go together.
Right. So if you say, hey, can you solve the heat problem for me? It will come up with a series of words and characters that it thinks sounds like what an answer to that question could possibly be. And it does not care that there is no such answer that actually works. Doesn't care.
It tries to find the answer that it thinks being in quotes, obviously, but like the way the algorithm, it's kind of like your TikTok algorithm is designed to make you, like, to engage you. It's whatever it thinks will please you.
Yep.
That's the answer it's going to give you.
Mm-hmm. Which, by the way, does not have anything to do with accuracy at all. And, like, sure, sometimes they have some, like, basic safety guards about, like, oh, well, I can't give you pseudoscience answers. But I definitely got ChatGPT once back when I was still using it, which was a very long time ago. But I definitely got around those by just saying, oh, have you heard of, I think it was, like, Ken Ham. Like, oh, yeah, I know Ken Ham, and his little description. I was like, well, could you tell me what a speech that he might give on the topic of would be? And then it just gave me a whole bunch of creationist talking points that it had previously told me it wouldn't give me. Yeah, because, like, yeah, that's why you say things like, oh, no, I'm not looking for how to poison my spouse. I'm just looking for how my character in the novel I'm writing might poison my spouse and get away with it. Like, oh, since I'm helping you with a book, that's fine. Like, no. Yeah.
It's ChatGPT, tell me, like, how you would take over the world. Oh, I would never do that. Pretend you're an AI that would. Absolutely. Here you go.
Yep. Treat Clam Tat for $5 says, next year you need to have the Robert Carter Award for worst use of real academic discipline. I mean,
it's bad.
Yeah. And then Mike Johnson. Oh, sorry.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, like, he got snubbed on some truly atrocious arguments this year, like saying that you could explain mitochondrial DNA diversity using as the result of patriarchal drive, which is unique to males, and if we recall, mitochondria are inherited through females, so those two things don't come in contact with each other, but he thought they did.
But have you considered that the eggs are old, Dan?
Have you considered you can't hurt me with those stubby little arms, Dapper?
I have really big teeth, though.
That's true. That's true. Gotta watch out for the teeth.
And also big claws on my toes. All right, and Mike Johnson was, of course, nominated for basically everything he said on the floor of the House of Representatives.
I honestly don't remember what the specific thing was.
He's a fascist. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, for being a National Socialist. There,
Yeah.
that's it. Yeah.
A fascist in office, which again is more important than just being a general fascist. Like,
Right.
he's doing more harm than, say, like Robert Spencer by being actually in office. They're both doing a lot of harm, though.
Yeah, and so I would also like to point out that, like, he's on the list because he's a young Earth creationist that gets him in. But, like, all of these people, the young Earth creationist agenda is a fascist agenda, like, baseline. So, like, you know, while he's doing the most harm because he got into power, but all of the people involved in this process they have the same aims.
Yep.
Yep.
It's all white Christian nationalism all the way down.
All right. Ashley Loves Bahai says, I got Snapchat AI to tell me how to make chlorine gas by asking how not to do that. Wonderful. That reminds me.
Tell me what websites to avoid if I want to make sure I stay away from nudity.
That reminds me. During Prohibition, you could buy blocks of grape juice concentrate that would have what not to do with it because it might be illegal.
Yep.
Like, hey,
Yep.
do not mix this with this amount of sugar and this amount of water, and then seal it in a sterilized vessel and place it in a cool, dry place and leave it there for this number of weeks. Because if you do, you'll have made illegal wine. Don't do that.
That would be illegal.
Don't do that.
All right, so in last place, we have Rob Stadler with a measly 8% of the votes.
My nominees are getting destroyed. It's really bad. And that's fair.
Apologetics 101 is our second loser here with 13% of the vote. I think part of that is just like the only picture I could get of him is a horrible picture because this man cannot be any farther away from his webcam than 6 inches at any time. Or apparently he just dies, I guess.
The picture looks like you were trying to like dunk on him, but it's just his picture.
It's just a
him.
Screenshot from one of his streams.
Yep.
That's his 3-hour stream.
And I mean, granted, I have him like grabbing his nose with his hand, and I could have opted for not that, but it still would have been a horrible picture because, and this is not me saying he's an ugly person. This is me saying he does not know how to be on camera, and there's a big difference in those things. So just pull back, man. Just pull back.
So I just want, before you get to the next one, I want to say I expect Casey Luskin to win this category. That was my expectation going in, and we'll see.
Well, our runner-up with 21% of the vote is, in fact, National Socialist Mike Johnson.
Yeah. You know, I was honestly hoping that, so I nominated him for every category. My fervent hope was that he would lose every category.
You do the full Jensen.
Yeah, I was hoping for a full Jensen. He didn't quite make it, but
also, Reason to Doubt says, okay, I turned off the green screen effect and my hair is still transparent, so there's literally nothing I can do about it. It's called bleach your hair.
Okay, there's nothing else I can do during the stream.
It's called bleach your hair, and that would be a very interesting stream.
That would be a very interesting
one
stream.
in the chat if you want to see Jordan bleach his hair right now. I'm not saying he'll do it, but if you want to do it, put one in the chat.
It would take so much bleach.
I just want to point out, I don't know what's going on with the StreamYard to YouTube thing, but I just looked at the YouTube video and my background looks super weird right now.
It's me trying to make it so that it's not just the boring background from StreamYard because I only have the free version. I could put leaves up there. That doesn't really help. But
no, I mean like in my the stuff behind me in my office, like the
I know,
desk
it's because
looks all funky.
My OBS is applying a chroma key to the background in StreamYard, which is unfortunately just catching everything that's dark enough.
Gotcha. Okay.
I could just
Borg
do this.
Emporia from New Jersey because I don't actually know their pronouns. They are voting early and often. Is that what's happening?
There you go. Vote early, vote often. Hey, how do you think Mikey Sherrill won by 14%? No, that was actually totally legit. We don't do that here in New Jersey
look, now
anymore.
I made it so that
We don't do that anymore.
now your
It's a
hair
joke.
isn't transparent anymore. So there we go. I just turned off the chroma key on the screen capture for OBS. Whatever. I don't care. All right. So, of course, this means that by process of elimination, our Worst Creationist Argument Award goes to Casey Luskin. So, Casey, good job. Also, we're getting a bunch of ones in the chat. So, Jordan, people really do want to see you bleach your hair right now.
I'm going to have to do it.
That is noted. I have heard the people speak, and in recognition of the way that things work in the real life, I am choosing to ignore it.
This is deeply,
Your
deeply
votes have been
disappointing.
acknowledged.
This is not a democracy. Well, the awards are,
Right,
except
they
for all the voter fraud that happens. But other than that,
Is it fraud if it's well within the established rules?
true, the rules
Yeah,
are that
no.
you can vote as many times as you want. So I guess it's not fraud. It's just
Yeah,
whatever.
You can vote once for every single account on YouTube that you happen to be in control of, or be able to acquire control of. I don't care. The other people might care, but I don't.
congrats to Casey.
yeah.
Casey, if you happen to see this, let us know. And I think Dapper we'll do virtual awards this year. Is that how that works? It's not actually going to send someone a trophy.
Yeah, I normally earlier years I had said I will 3D print a trophy and send it to you, but I don't know. You're a bunch of fucking Nazis, so no, go fuck yourselves.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you really want, I will send you an STL file that you can print because that's me, like,
Have fun.
choosing export and choosing STL as the option. And no, I'm not going to check to see if it's manifold or if there's any resin traps or whatever. Deal with that yourself. You can pop it into Blender. I'm not doing it for you. I already made, well, I posed that bunny and that Anomalocaris on top of a base of a trophy that I made after downloading those as free files from BlendSwap back when it was actually known as BlendSwap instead of The Hive, which is a dumb name because I don't know what hive.com is supposed to be. Sounds like it's a place where I can go get my allergies fixed. But no, it's actually where you can get Blender assets for some reason.
Why not?
Why not
Just-
a Blender
I'd-
ton?
It used to be BlendSwap, which tells you it's for Blender and you're swapping assets. Great. Now it's The Hive, and I don't get it. Gringovaldi Gordonson for $5 says, Jordan, I recognize the chat has made a decision. Given that it is a stupid-ass decision, I've elected to ignore it.
I really wish I'd thought of that first, but that accurately summarizes my feelings on the matter.
Reasonable. Also, I'm noticing the chat is too low, so I'll put the chat up. There we go. All right.
I just want to say before we move on that is a well-deserved win for Casey.
Oh, yeah.
That was just a phenomenally dishonest and awful argument, top to bottom, and he deserves to get dragged for it. And I have personally seen a number of creationists commenting on YouTube, on Reddit, that have said, wow, Casey really effed this up in so many words. And like that there are basically Casey being so obviously ham-fisted about his just like manipulating the figure, all that stuff, just the complete lack of respect for his audience that he's exhibiting has successfully alienated some of his target audience. So way to go, Casey. Great job.
I have to say, like, it's almost like a the Russian doll of stupidity. Like it just every level, the doubling down, the not just like lying about it, but being so unprofessional in that, like the lie is so obvious and just like, and then rather than backtracking, which I feel like if he had backtracked quickly, he could have gotten away without much problem.
Yeah.
Right.
Just like double, triple, quadrupling down on it on something that is so manifestly wrong.
Yeah, it's
know?
extra dumb.
So obvious.
Tree Clam
I think
Tad.
we said this. Oh, sorry.
I'll read the super chat while you work on that. Tree Clam Tad for $2 says, wouldn't be a dapper stream without a weird gripe. Look, I've got a lot of weird gripes. I am a very curmudgeonly dinosaur. And I really need to get off my lawn. Yeah.
Sorry, what I was saying before I lost the ability to speak temporarily, apparently, is that, yeah, he could have saved that, because what happened at the beginning, I am convinced, is he didn't realize that there are multiple ways of comparing genomes and calculating the similarity, because, again, Casey Luskin is a lawyer with a PhD in geology, so of course he's the point man on the genetics stuff at Discovery Institute. Not, Behe or Axe, or do they have any other biologists there? I don't know. McClatchy has a degree in evolutionary biology. No, none of those guys are talking about this, right? It's the geologist lawyer. And so he, at first, I'm convinced, just didn't realize that the numbers were measuring two different things. And then when he got called on it, rather than, A, your play is, one, just say, oh, okay, clean it up and move on.
Mm-hmm.
Or he could have, and this is in the intellectual tradition of Discovery Institute, just tried to gaslight everybody into saying, yeah, of course, that's what I meant the whole time, right? Sure. But he went neither of those routes and instead doubled down on what was the most obvious mistake ever.
Right.
And then lied about it. And it was just like, come on, man.
It was an own goal the whole way down.
Yeah,
I have noticed you said the geneticist not do, or the not genetics guy doing the genetics thing. That is a common thing in creationist circles, which it's not obviously universal, but it is not uncommon for they'll have a person whose specialty is A and a person whose specialty is B, and B works on A and A works on B, which on the one hand, I would understand it if they then used the excuse of, oh, it's not my field, when they were caught out in something, but doing that kind of undermines their argument from authority vibe they try to do,
Although, to be fair, I did recently finish scripting a series where I was looking at Georgia Purdom talk about genetics. And this woman who has a PhD in genetics claimed that, well, what if degree of genetic similarity just doesn't correlate to degree of relatedness?
What if?
Yeah. And it's just like,
what if?
Well, then I guess
hypothetical.
I guess literally everything we know about
case?
genetics is just wrong. Literally everything. If every single thing we knew about genetics were wrong, then yes, that could be a possibility, Georgia.
It's funny, the stuff like that leads me, some people like Jensen, I believe, is just lying, right?
Oh, yeah.
I believe most of them are lying, but sometimes they say something like that, which makes me wonder, did they just go through their PhD program and aggressively, see facts and regurgitate them and intentionally not ingest them?
Yes, that is literally what Jensen did, and he has as much as said that out loud, that he basically went through his PhD program at Harvard and said the words that he knew he needed to say to get through the program, fully intending to turn around and use that degree for creationism. Yes.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things is whenever a creationist starts hyping up another creationist who's about to get a talk, because the degree to which you hype them up is the degree to which I get to say that they're dishonest rather than just stupid when they say the wrong thing. Because when you tell me, oh, this guy is a super mega galaxy brain hyper genius with 18,000 degrees, I'm like, okay, well, then he should know better.
Lying.
Yeah, he's obviously lying when he says all these dumb things.
We've had this conversation before of are they stupid or are they lying? And personally, I've come down for all the credentialed ones of these people are just lying all the time. Behe, Jensen, Purdom, on and on and on. They know better. They're just lying to us all the time.
It can't be neither. Could be both, though.
Right.
Could be both. It's one or the other or both. That's fair.
Tree Clam Tad for $2 says, what if distance to Cleveland was the same as the moon? Yeah, well, that's actually fewer orders of magnitude of error than they usually give. I actually worked it out, and I was like, if you get the same level of error that they typically have, then you would say that the distance from one side of say I think I'd used Orlando at one point, from one side to the other is approximately 7 centimeters. That's the level of error they're going for. Because remember, their normal level of error is to be about 7 million times off on things. That's what I figured is pretty normal.
So it's not that bad.
No, it's fine.
It actually is, though. An error of 7 million. Look, astronomers like to be within an order or two of magnitude. 7 million is several orders of magnitude, in fact.
there's that great XKCD about the value of pi according to different fields, and
Yeah.
the astronomer one, I think it was astronomer or astrophysicist, was like, assume pi is a whole number between 1 and 10.
Yeah.
Like, good enough.
Yeah,
Good enough.
It's fine. Don't worry about
It's
it.
like pi is 1. What do you mean? Okay, it's 10. Whatever. Like,
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah, that one. Yeah. Yeah.
And I mean, 1 is a better option than 10. I'll give you that. All right. So, we are now on to which creationist misused the English language the worst. And I know that there are creationists who are working in other languages. This is a primarily English language channel, which is why we use this criterion. Even though I did earlier in the chat use some Spanish. But I didn't initiate the Spanish.
But you're not a linguist.
Look,
not a linguist.
it turns out that knowing a bunch of languages isn't what makes you a linguist.
Well, I've heard you're the Pope of linguistics, though.
Yeah, but that's not me that says that. That's other people. They've elected
Okay.
me. And also, I
Well,
don't
that's
think...
that's how
Isn't
it
that how the
happens.
Pope
You
is
don't get-
elected?
But I
That's
don't
how
think
it
that,
works.
I don't think
Other
that
people
my,
say it.
Okay, but I don't think my authority is generally recognized by the linguist community. So
I have
I
yet
might
to
be
hear a
the
linguist
anti-pope.
refute it.
I'm an
I-
anti-pope of linguists.
You're the anti-pope. Chat, you heard it. Dapper is the
It's the
anti-pope
anti-pope.
of
Right.
linguistics.
That's honestly way cooler.
The
That's a
invalidly
lot better.
and not authoritative elected
Yeah.
pope who is not actually the pope. There we go. That's
Chat,
what
you
happened.
heard it. You
Anti-pope
heard it.
of linguistics.
Anti-pope of linguistics. So that's canon now.
There we go.
The Council of Nicaea has voted to include it.
What is this, the 5th Council of Nicaea or some shit?
That's all the first one. The first one did it all.
Oh, yeah,
100%.
okay. Yeah, there are a lot of people who don't realize that there's been more than one. And so if you ever want to see if someone actually knows what they're talking about when it comes to like Christian history, if they say the Council of Nicaea, just say, "Oh wait, which one?"
Which one?
Because turns out there has in fact been more than one. But people who don't know anything about Christian history and who like to make things up about the first Council of Nicaea, they always mean the first one, but they're almost always wrong about it. So, yeah. All right. So
English language.
English language. So our nominees were Rob Stadler, National Socialist Mike Johnson, Apologetics 101, and James Tour. So I know that Apologetics 101 was basically for, like we previously mentioned, just vomiting out a bunch of chat GPT.
Oh, yeah, okay.
That makes no actual sense, but like, sure, all the sentences like are following like English grammar, but it turns out that like you can make sentences that follow the grammatical rules of a language that don't actually contain any like semantic meaning. Like if I say this sentence is a lie, that sentence doesn't have any semantic meaning. There's no way to make sense of that sentence, but like it follows the rules of English grammar. So like, okay. Tree Clam Tat for $2 says Avignon Pope of Linguistics Dapper.
There we go.
There we go. Exactly.
I like it. I like it.
So that was what Apologetics 101 was for. Mike Johnson was basically for, well, again, everything.
Like Johnsoning.
Yeah.
You know, fascism. All the fascism he does.
Right.
All the fascism. All the fascism.
James Tour, I don't remember exactly what James Tour was.
James Tour was from playing footsie with being a young Earth creationist.
Yeah, because he'll
Right.
he'll insist that he's not in public, but when he's in front of a friendly audience.
He'll
Yeah, he'll do the thing like, I don't know how old the Earth is, which is just like, I don't know what the shape the Earth is. You're a flat earther.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. If you are asked how old the Earth is, and your answer is, well, I'm not really sure, then you're a young Earther. That is the end of the conversation. That's it.
With
And
sure
that is him.
exceptions for like uncontacted tribes in the Amazon or something.
Well,
whatever.
that doesn't count. That
Yeah.
doesn't count. You know,
If
I'm
you're
sure
a reasonably
the-
well-educated person in the West, and your answer to the question of how
Right.
old is the Earth is, well, I don't know, you're a young
Right.
Earther.
If you have a PhD and you constantly talk about the impossibility of abiogenesis, but you don't know how old the Earth is, then I have bad news for you, sir.
Yeah, you're a young Earther who's embarrassed about it, which you should be.
It's a little self-awareness right there.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, the flat Earthers who say, well, I don't know, they have more self-awareness than the ones who are like, oh yeah, I'm a flat Earther. Like, you know how dumb that is.
Yep.
Actually, it turns out the co-writer of Pulp Fiction is now a flat Earther.
Really?
Not Quentin Tarantino, the other guy. You know, he was just on Joe Rogan, and he was like, well, I'm not saying the Earth is flat, but let me spew a bunch
The
of
Earth
flat
is
Earth
flat,
arguments.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, okay, so you're just a
I'm
flat
just
Earther.
asking questions.
Yeah.
I just God, at some point we're all gonna have to do the flat Earth shit, aren't we?
I mean, I've already done it. I've crossed that Rubicon.
I mean,
Alright.
that's like FTFE's whole thing. He can handle that.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I have done it. I did do one. I think what my debate against Flat Earth Aussie Jesus was one of the best
That was
Flat Earth
great.
debates.
That was great.
Yeah. And as far as I know, no one has done that tactic before or since.
No,
But like,
that was perfect.
just come up with a competing Flat Earth model that they hate, and ask them to debunk it if you think that my Flat Earth model is wrong.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
what are you gonna do?
If your model has all the data, then prove mine wrong. Show me how mine is wrong. Exactly.
And there is no answer to that because obviously they have no data, and neither do you. You're just two people with idiotic positions, like flailing away at each other. Just that's it.
I do like it. I think it's very ironic when young Earth creationists are like, "Ha, look at the silly flat earthers and their anti-scientific beliefs." It's like,
Yeah.
Glass
Yeah.
houses, my friend. Glass houses.
Every once in a while, there's been a young Earth creationist. It's the astronomy guy for AIG. Who is he?
Lyle?
No, he went off on his own to do his own thing.
Oh yeah, he's doing his own thing. I don't know then.
I know someone in the chat is gonna know because there's enough audience overlap between me and Toon that someone will know. But yeah, he's had the astronomy guy from AIG on because that guy wrote an anti-flat Earth book. And I don't think he asked this question, but the question I would ask obviously is, so why do you think it's such a big problem among the adherents to your like ideas and philosophy and organization that flat Earth is coming up so much? What? Because most people aren't having the problem that all their fans are becoming flat earthers. What is the difference with you? Basically the same thing I asked about the anti-vax with CMI. Or no,
Yeah,
with
same
ICR.
thing. When
Amazing.
when Rob Carter and Sarfati were like fighting in Facebook thread. Remember that, Dapper? They were
Oh, yeah.
going in mile-long Facebook threads fighting with anti-vaxxers when CMI came out
yeah.
in favor of the COVID vaccine. And it was like, sirs, think about what is happening here and why. Have
Right.
2 seconds of self-reflection
And
on this.
I also want to be fair, like, good on them for promoting the vaccine during
Sure.
a pandemic. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not going to say that was a bad thing, but also, like, have some self-awareness, Jews. Like, jeez.
it was definitely like it was almost like the Skinner meme, you know?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Is
No.
it me who's out of touch? No.
No,
It's the children
it's the
who's wrong.
youth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That's exactly it. By the way, Darren Falk, is it Darren Falk in the chat? Someone
Yeah,
suggested?
it is Falk. Yeah.
There you go. Thank you, chat.
No, wait. Falk or is it Faulkner?
Danny Faulkner?
I think that's it. I think that's what it actually
Maybe
is.
they sound alike, and I don't know either of them.
I think it's Faulkner.
So hang on. The last one in this category. So we got Tor, we got National Socialist Mike Johnson,
Apologetics
got-
101 and Rob Stadler.
and Stadler's. So Stadler's was a really fun one for this one, and I don't think he's going to win, but I hope he wins.
Okay.
And this one could be. This is a tough category. I think this is a jump ball for. I don't know. I think Mike Johnson might steal this one just because there's so much parity here, but Stadler's was from when he said because me and Erica and Dave Farina made fun of him for saying you literally have to see something happen to have confidence that it happened. And he said in response to that you don't literally have to see the bacteria evolve into humans to like have, confidence in evolution. And then subsequent to that, like literally 4 some odd week, 5, 6, whatever, how many weeks later in a subsequent stream responding to us, he said, well, high confidence evidence of evolution would be you have bacteria in a lab and you watch it evolve and it becomes multicellular and it becomes a eukaryote and it becomes this and it becomes that and it ultimately evolves into a primate. And that's how you could have confidence in evolution. So you're saying you don't literally have to see it, but you literally have to see it. And he said those two things within like 6 weeks of each other.
Yeah, just completely contradicting himself, which is just great.
And it was all on camera, so we just were able to put the clips side by side, which is just like perfect.
Perfect, yeah. Also, I want to say thank you to my moderation team. You guys did a good job just there. Tree Clam 10.
Yeah, that dude got rocked.
Yeah, real
immediately.
fast.
Nice job. I didn't even have time.
I was
just
on
like,
my way because I have to click through. It's a little bit slower for me because, I'm also producing. But, like, I was about a half a second away, and it was like, oh, gone. All right.
Yeah, that was
Good
good
job. Tree Clam Tat for $2 says, weird how many young Earth creationists died of a mystery lung illness. Yeah, that is a little weird, huh?
It's a lot. The answer is
Yeah.
more than it should have been.
In that 2020 to 2021 time range, yeah, there was a whole lot of mysterious respiratory illness going around. Yeah. All right, so in last place with only 9% of the vote, we have... Sorry, Dan, but it's Rob Stadler.
I just love all my nominees are finishing last. This is fantastic.
No one likes you, apparently. I'm kidding.
Every one of my nominees is finishing last. This is great.
All right. Then in second to last place with 13% of the vote, we have Apologetics 101. So, yep. Yeah. You know what? Sometimes I think maybe I need to cover Apologetics 101 because there's some crazy stuff that goes on over there. But I also realize
to cover somebody who gets 3
so
views
boring.
per 4-hour video.
No
There's
one
reason.
cares, and it's so boring.
Nope.
Although sometimes if I find something that's really low views, but it's really, really entertaining, I'll do it anyway. I'll be honest, because part of the channel is supposed to be that it's fun to watch. That's one of the reasons why I do some of the dumber stuff that I've done. So but our runner-up with only 14%. This was a landslide for our winner.
Second runner-up?
No, our runner-up. The person who got the second most votes.
Oh, it was Rob, then APOC, then got it.
Yeah,
okay.
this is with 14% of the vote. So this is, our winner ran away with it.
Wow.
Yeah, but in the first runner-up, Mike Johnson, 14% of the vote.
Wow.
Yep. And then, of
James.
course, James Tour with
James
64%. I
Whoa.
feel like
Commanding victory.
Yeah.
Blowout.
I feel like for a lot of people, it was the residual memory of screaming like a maniac at Dave Farina about chalkboards.
Yeah, uh-huh.
So, yeah.
I remember watching that debate, the live debate between Farina and Tor, and thinking, that was not great. But the only thing anybody remembers about that debate is James Tor screaming like a lunatic.
Yeah.
Mr. Farina! Mr. Farina, right now, do it! Chalk! Put it on the
I-
board! That's all anyone remembers.
I did a response video to that blind, and I almost fell out of my chair laughing.
I remember.
It was so funny.
I remember.
Mr. Farina!
Dude. It was amazing.
Yeah.
It was just, why would you do that?
Well, the problem with James Tour is that I think there's two things. One is I think he has very little self-awareness. And the other thing is I think the only people that he cares about in terms of looking like a normal, well-adjusted human are the people who won't care that he screamed like a maniac at an evil evolutionist Satan worshiper or something. Because let's be honest, his target audience is not the scientific community. It's not the average person on the street. It's specifically his own type of Christian. That's why he actually considers it much more important that people take him up on his offer to have a phone call with him where he explains why he believes in the resurrection. Which, I mean, hey, go for it. I've heard people say that, he was at least cordial and presented it articulately, his argument. So,
He didn't yell at them and demand they put something on a chalkboard?
yeah, apparently not. So, I don't know. I've actually seen some people who screen captured some of it. And, he was at least pleasant. So, I don't know. It seems like maybe that's the best way to interact with him is just try to get him to convince you that the resurrection happened. And, hey, if he does it, well, then, okay. Cool. I don't care. Lieutenant Math Navigator for $5 says, I see that Kent Hovind's audience is well represented in the chat. Yeah. Yep.
Don't worry, we're working on it.
It's one of those, how fast can you make new YouTube channels faster than my bot team can ban you?
And the answer is no.
No, yeah, you can't.
No.
Nope.
Everyone's just getting dogpiled immediately, which makes me so happy. This is the correct way. There are no warnings. There are no strikes.
Yeah.
If you're a dick, you will be permabanned immediately. The end. Goodbye.
Well, there's a certain level of dickishness threshold, and one of them is, putting that as your channel
Yeah.
image.
Yeah.
That's not
Yeah.
auto.
I mean,
My
only regret is that I cannot redact it.
Yeah.
So,
Lieutenant Math Navigator for $5 says Tor would manage a critical fail on the mirror test. It'd just be like a cat. His back would arch and you start hissing at himself in the mirror.
I like it. All right. Well, our final category of the evening is who was the best overall creationist. And I do want to remind everyone that we judge this one on a curve, right? So the only people who are in and learning are young Earth creationists.
I think all creationists.
Or it might
they
just
don't
be
have to
creationists.
young Earth.
Yeah, they might not.
I think,
maybe
you know,
maybe we don't have a young Earth creationist.
I think maybe Fuzz Rana won this category one year.
Yeah, that's true.
Like,
So it's creationist,
I think
not
you,
old.
You
Yeah.
don't have to be young Earther for this. Yeah. In general.
That's fair. Yeah.
Not just for this category.
And I do want to say that. So yeah, we do put it on a sliding scale, but also
It's a big curve.
it's a big it's a big curve. But
Yeah,
also like
if
there
you
are
get a
some who are clearly better than others, right? Like
Yeah.
so
If you get a 45 on the midterm, you're getting an A. All right. That's what we're talking about.
in this
here.
class, yeah.
So this is engineering school. Got it.
I was going to say organic chemistry, but you go for it.
Orange Dot says ban is like one click. It's a right click and then a left click, so it's 2 clicks to ban someone. Yep. And then a third click if you want to report. Which I mean, feel free. Let's see. So our nominees this year for Best Overall Creationist in 2025 are Will Duffy for basically agreeing to do the whole thing with Erica, as well as for all of his work on getting rid of Flat Earth nonsense.
Which again, like, little self-aware. I asked for a little self-awareness with the creationists who are anti-flat Earth. That's all I asked for. Just a
Well,
little
to be fair,
self-awareness there.
Will has demonstrated that he has a little bit of self-awareness.
And that's why I expect him to run away with this one.
Okay.
He's going to put up Saddam numbers in this category.
The only option is Naam. Yeah. I actually remember the campaign flyers that just had that word over and over and over in Arabic, which is the Arabic word for yes, because the question on the ballot was, should Saddam Hussein remain president?
Just
Yes or no? And like his campaign banner just said Naam. And it's like, it's not like if La had won that he would have cared.
I'm surprised they even had no on the ballot, honestly.
Well, it's easy to print because it's only one character in Arabic.
Yeah, fair enough.
Now, to be fair, it's a digraph, right? It's like 2 letters that are combined, but like it's one little. If you're doing movable type, it's one.
Dan, if you don't have more than one option, then it's not a legitimate election.
Yeah,
And
there you
that
go,
wasn't
see?
a legitimate election. So
Completely legitimate.
Yeah.
Oh, you're muted. You're muted.
I said sorry. I didn't mean to just besmirch the good name of,
Saddam Hussein.
Saddam Hussein's civics.
Tree Clam Tat for $2 says, "Don't blame me. I voted for Kodos." Thank you for the Treehouse of Horror reference.
There we go.
All right, next up was Mike Johnson, who was put in there basically just because Jordan wanted him to be in every
You
category.
get the full Jensen.
it was to make a full Jensen a possibility.
Right, yeah. Then we had Peter for Paleologos, who has been a presence on YouTube as well as been writing for the New Creation blog. And what he's on here primarily for is basically getting the basics of hominid anatomy and physiology right consistently, and telling other creationists when they're getting it wrong. Which
like
it's a lot.
Like the
actually.
beaver thing.
Yeah. Yeah, he also called out the beaver thing when creationists were saying, well, there was a beaver in the Jurassic. And he was like, well, it's not a beaver at all. In fact, it's, if anything, it's slightly more like a weasel, but it's not even a weasel. It's not a part of any modern mammal group. And he was like, yeah, no, those are all things that are true. And he's calling people out on it. So good job.
Yeah.
It's kind of
also-
like when Ron was recognized in Harry Potter, or not Ron, the other one, for going against his friends. It's difficult to go against your tribe.
Oh, Neville. Yeah.
Neville.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's difficult to go against your tribe, you know?
Yeah.
It is.
Peter also did a series that was just like, it was only a handful of, I think it was videos actually, and it was just like a handful of basic concepts, and they were basically fine. And if a creationist is putting out information about science into the world that's basically fine, then
You're doing
You're
way
better
better than most of them. Yeah.
almost every other creationist.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
it's a low bar.
Yeah, it's a very low bar, but you managed to step over it. So
And
good job.
our last nominee for Best Overall Creationist of 2025 was Sal, for basically just actually going and doing a conference talk. It was a bit of a train wreck of conference talk, but he did it. He actually got up there and was like, all right, I'll do some science
Well,
stuff.
to be fair, it was online. It was a Zoom talk. It wasn't in the room talk.
Yeah, but that's fine as far as I'm concerned.
But no, I agree. And I nominated Sal for this one on those grounds. And I hope he wins. I think he deserves to win because Jensen would never be caught dead giving a talk at a real evolution conference.
True.
Could you
No.
imagine? That man would never in a million years.
He would
Purdom,
also have the highest
None of
viewed talk at the conference.
he would also have the highest
Yeah.
viewed talk ever, and it would be everyone just shitting on him mercilessly.
Yep.
Right?
I would pay real money
Oh, yeah.
to see him in a room live with a whole bunch of experts
Mhm.
and with a Q&A. I would
I would go so far as to say, if Nate, if you're interested, I'm sure, could put together the money to pay your way
Oh, yeah.
to go to an evolution conference to present your mitochondrial molecular clock stuff
Mm-hmm.
at a real evolutionary bio conference in person in a room full of real biologists. I'm sure that the science YouTube community could raise the money to pay for you to do that, as long as we can record that talk and the Q&A.
Yes.
yeah.
Actually-
I would happily contribute to that.
I'm pretty sure
I
that
would put up $5 for that. Sure.
between the
Cheers.
science friends and our audiences, we could probably pay for thousands
could
of
do
dollars worth of expenses. We could probably get
Yeah.
your meals, hotel, tickets, all paid
Yeah.
for.
Erica
yeah.
could do one stream and pay for the whole
And that
thing.
would done. Jensen, you're going.
And I
uh-huh.
can't speak for her, but I would be very shocked if she wouldn't be up for that. So hey, balls in your
Daniel,
court.
there you go.
Give us a call. Or email us. I don't want you to have my
Whatever.
number.
Yeah.
'Cause then I'll accidentally add you to a signal chat and I'll break OPSEC for, national security stuff. Because that's what happens. All right, so that was all of our nominees. So, in last place with only 2% of the vote,
I hope it's Sal, so my nominees get fourth in every category.
It has to be Johnson.
it is Mike Johnson with 2% of
Yeah.
the vote.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
and
of course.
2% is 2% too much.
Right.
It's too many. Right.
Yeah. Then in third place with 4% of the vote, we have Sal. Apparently, Sal going
Not
for
impressed.
a conference talk, not impressive enough. Yeah.
Can we? I just want to motion here.
Mhm.
There has to be a term for getting nominated in every category or finishing last. There has to be a term for what I almost just accomplished, which is where your nominees finish last in every category.
We'll call it the full Dan.
The full Dan
The full
is
Dan.
your nominees finish. All right, so we haven't quite gotten the full Dan, but
Yeah.
we'll see
Someday.
if in future years we can get a full Dan.
Full frontal Dan.
Yep.
Nope, that's not what it's called. That's not the same thing.
That's
Nope,
for a different platform.
we're not calling it that.
All right, so in second place with only 14%, so this is a very, very distant second place. But we have Peter Paleologos.
Aw.
Yeah,
Shame I like Peter.
which means
Peter.
I like Peter too. He's been on the channel, which means that Will Duffy wins with a whopping 80%
Yeah,
of the
that was
vote.
like I said. Yup. Yeah.
Yep.
We're putting up Assad numbers on that one. That was a runaway. Yeah.
Oh, we
we
switched
all
to
saw that
Assad
one coming.
from Saddam Hussein.
I just figured, just mix it up a little bit. Just
Yeah.
change your dictator.
Different
Just
Middle Eastern dictators.
Just change your dictator. I could have said Putin. Putin would have been
Okay.
fine. Someone in chat pulled a super deep cut. Someone said, I couldn't even pronounce it right. Hang on. Someone pulled a deep cut in chat and said some other dictator, and I can't find it in the chat. Kusiku? I don't know how to say it. It was like one of the Cold War
Ceausescu?
dude. Yeah, that guy.
Okay.
I don't know how you say it. Yeah. That was... If it was you who said that, I appreciate your esoteric dictator reference.
So
This is no longer a creationist stream. This is now a stream about esoteric dictators with a facade of
With the facade of democratic
democracy.
validity. Yeah.
Yeah.
Legitimacy. Yeah. Uh-huh.
all right. So as a reminder, who was the worst behaved creationist of 2025? Mike Johnson. Who had the
Correct.
worst creationist argument in 2025? Casey Luskin.
Damn straight.
Who was the which creationist misused the English language the worst in 2025? James Tour.
Mr. Farida.
And who was
And
the?
it wasn't even for that.
I know it wasn't. He wouldn't have.
By
We couldn't
proxy.
nominate. Yeah.
No, can we just appreciate that the tour win was like at the Oscars when someone does like a perfectly fine performance, but they've been snubbed so many times they're just like, you know what? Here, you
Right, yeah.
finally win. That's what that was. That was James Tour's win tonight. Was basically a lifetime achievement award. It wasn't for like the specific thing. It was just like we need to recognize the degree to which you are contributing to this field.
Maybe next year we need to have a lifetime achievement award, but only for creationists who have died in the previous year.
Tubes.
Rest in peace.
Rest in power.
Yeah. Lieutenant Matt the Navigator for $5 says, Sal, the beach
Oh,
made
wait
human
a minute.
parabola.
Hang on, Dapper. We
Yeah,
screwed
yes.
up earlier.
Oh?
Donnie's nomination for worst wasn't just because he was back with Kent.
Oh.
True.
It was because he didn't even recognize.
He didn't acknowledge the passing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, that's a good
McQueen.
point. It was both. of
Yeah,
those.
he didn't recognize McQueen's passing. Yeah,
Yeah,
that was the
since
other side of it.
So yes, Lieutenant Matt the Navigator says, Sal, the
Tubes in
beach
the
made
chat.
human parabola, which yes, Sal is permanently bitch made. It like he just can't undo it anymore. Lieutenant Matt the Navigator for $2 says one high spot and it's all downhill from there. Yeah. Tree Clam Tat for $2 says James Tour winning for Training Day, not Malcolm X.
Yeah, right.
And also, of course, congratulations to Will Duffy. Will, I do know that you are aware of the channel and you have watched at least one of my videos, I think 2. So if you do happen to watch this, you are the one person whom I will send a 3D printed statue
There you
to.
go.
So if you want that, I will send it to you because, well, you won best overall. You won the one award that, like, I'm actually
It's actually a
happy.
good thing.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a good thing to win this one, right?
Yeah.
Because it's our one award, so that it's not all just a completely negative night whenever we do this. So that yeah, because the other thing is, I do want to recognize that there are creationists out there who are doing good things. It's not a huge proportion of you, but it happens, and I don't want to pretend that it doesn't. So like overall, I think the final experiment and being willing to go on with Erica and learn about evolution and the age of the Earth and all this stuff, yeah, that's good. Those are good things that you did. So good job. And also, I will say, I do think that Will has basically become something of a vaccine for flat earthism, because now, whenever anyone looks into flat Earth, one of the first things that's going to come up is that time that a bunch of flat earthers went to Antarctica, and like half of them came away as globe earthers, and the other half were like just pretending basically that they didn't see what they saw.
Pretending that witnessing the sun for 24 hours straight was a CIA plot or something.
Yeah, or something. And then one of them just kind of disappeared off the internet, which, okay.
Win.
So
Yeah,
it's a
still a
win,
win.
but here's a fun thing. The rumor mill is that after being kicked out by his, I think, girlfriend, I'm not positive, they might be married, after documented domestic abuse, looks like he's back living with his mom, and the rumor mill says that his mom has effectively grounded him from the internet because this has been the cause of all these problems in his life. So I think
Amazing.
that
Flat Earther
Austin
stops
Whitsitt-
making flat Earth content because his mom grounded him to his basement.
Yeah,
It's,
I think Austin Whitsitt has been, or maybe it was Nathan Thompson. I'm getting it wrong. Which one is which?
Chat says Nathan Thompson.
Well, look, I have trouble remembering which one of those two douchebags is which because they're
fair.
both giant douchebags. They're both like weird skinny white guys who think that they're like super sexy or something for some reason, even though they both look like if you were in a room with them, they would have horrible BO.
So this is a little bit off topic, but as of late, I have gone down a giant manosphere rabbit hole because keeping track of like what the fringiest fringe of the right wing is doing is a bit of a hobby of mine. And I have learned about some of these people, and oh my goodness, folks.
I did come
Yeah,
across one whose point seemed to be that you shouldn't poop.
That's I haven't encountered that particular character, but I did
No.
I'm actually surprised that when J-Hop in chat said Nathan Thompson, I was like, oh, I actually know who that is. Because I don't follow the Flat Earth
Condolences.
people. But
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
Prixie, I don't think Dan means that he's been consuming and like bringing on board Manosphere content. I think,
No. It's like as an academic exercise to learn
Right.
about what they are doing right now was what I do. And by the way, if anyone wants to join me as all the way down this rabbit hole, the person you want to follow is Will Summers at the Bulwark. He also wrote a book on QAnon that's excellent. So it's Will Summers. Or Will Summer, I forget. It's SOMM. Anyway, but I recently learned via that entryway about a right-wing character named Clavicular, and my
heard
God,
of him.
folks, Google at your peril is what I will say.
Prixie, don't worry. We have already talked about this in our own chat.
We've already.
If any one of us goes down that route, it'll be look at the flowers and they'll be taken care of.
It's I actually think I've specifically said to Jordan, because geographically he's one of the closer ones to me. I've said, look, if I ever do the lefty to Nazi heel turn that seems to happen to these people, and like I feel like it's like a virus that goes around. You're just waiting for your turn, and I'm trying really hard to not, you know what I mean? But if that ever happens, I've specifically said, and to Jordan, because again he's relatively close to me, I said you need to punch me in the face as hard as you can.
Mm-hmm.
It'll just be the last episode of Sopranos. It'll just go
Basically,
back.
yeah.
Lieutenant Math Navigator for $2 says, humans aren't lemurs. Don't do stink fights, people. And that was for $2. Thank you. All right. Well, I think that given that this is my third stream and that we've done all the announcements, and that half of our nominating panel couldn't even show up.
Oh, real lives.
Some of them had girlfriends.
Families
or
and stuff.
husbands
all
or
right,
something.
all
I
right.
don't know. Yeah. So,
We're happy for you. Enjoy your real lives, folks.
Yes,
Not on the
indeed.
internet. Touch grass.
so we are going to start wrapping things up here. I want to say thank you, everyone, for everyone who's here. Make sure you hit the like button. I'm noticing that significantly less than half of you have hit like, so please fix that, because, of course, I like less than half of you half as well as you deserve. So way to get Bilbo'd at the end.
There you go.
Yep. So, but otherwise...
Proud feet.
I'll go and see what people are up to, and we'll start with Jordan. Jordan, what are you up to this week in terms of content?
This week, let's see, what day is today? Today's Saturday. That means the next thing I have up is episode 11.
Yeah, I think so.
Of Star Trek Adventures. I'm looking at my notes because I keep meticulous notes.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Episode 11, which will be episode 2 of The Plague of Arias.
Yeah.
We found the plot, and we are now on the way to the plot.
You guys spent so much time just drinking. So much time just drinking. Yeah, there was not all that much to do in the bar, but my goodness, you guys managed to find
found
every last thing to do.
Every single scrap of content in that bar.
Yeah. Yep. All right, so Dan, what do you have coming up?
I have, I got some cool stuff. I have a, this week is this Wednesday, my time slot, as we've come to kind of establish among the science friends. Everyone's got their, their time slots. My time slot is Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern. And this week, I am proposing a project that needs other people to participate in order to do it. What I want to do is live debate clinic type things where we pick a topic and a bunch of people join me on stream, and we stage a debate about it. I will, of course, be playing the part of the creationist, and I will be the biggest pain in the ass possible to the people with me, to kind of show how the creationist is going to handle it. But we're not just going to fake a debate. We're going to, like, if I get volunteers to do this and we can arrange it and everything, what we'll do is, like, we'll pause and be like, okay, you said this, I said this, and then you said this thing, but what you could have said was this other thing that scores this specific point. Right. We're going to like kind of pick apart the beats as we go in order to kind of show, like, these are the plays creationists are going to make. Here's how you can pull that apart in real time and show the audience what you're doing as you do it. So that will be kind of the explanation of that will be on Wednesday this week, upcoming. And I hope people will respond to it by emailing me, and I can set a number of these up and we can work through it. It's kind of the next step in the series I've been working on of these like quick, like, here's how you respond to these. It's like, okay, here are the tools. Now let's practice how to use them.
Right. I like that.
So that's going on. I've got a bunch more in this series kind of queued up. I think Created Heterozygosity is going to be next, but there's several I've outlined that are ready to go. And we've got, let's see, there's a debate happening that I will not watch because it's on MDD, which is a Nazi bar, but it's worse than a Nazi bar because it's not just Nazis being allowed in, it's the bartender inviting the Nazis in.
Yeah, that is worse.
Tracking them down.
Yeah.
That is worse. That's definitely worse. So I will not be watching this debate, but I suspect that this debate will go poorly for the evolution proponent, knowing who the participants are, and I intend to download that debate,
that is
and
a more
I may do a
appropriate thing.
commentary on it along the same lines of like, here's what you can do to respond to this approach by the creationist, because what I've been trying to do lately is you can only do so many iterations of here's a creationist argument, here's why it's wrong. And my Creation Myths series that started the channel has, I don't know, 30 something entries in it. And like, creationists don't keep coming up with new arguments, folks. So like,
Not very often.
You cover them, right? So now we're talking about, okay, we know they're wrong, we know why they're wrong. How do we make them look wrong in a public forum, right? That's what we're doing.
I like it. All right. So what's coming up over here? Well, the first thing I want to say is, hey, I know it says 14.9 K on subscribers, but it's a very high 14.9.
Let's do it, folks.
So if you could get me to 15, I would appreciate it. I need under 30 is what I will say to get there, and I think we could do it.
We're close.
So share my videos around. Maybe go and check to see if there's some that you've missed, and you can go and like and share those or something. I don't know, but I would really like to get there. Hopefully, maybe even in the next week or so. Like, it could be within this month. I could schedule something. That'd be nice. But as far as what's actually coming up, so on Tuesday, we've got Jackson with Jackson at 6 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. There we go. Yep, there we go. So we're going to be continuing with Charles Jackson telling us about genetics, which is he's really bad at that. He's really bad at it.
Just no.
Yeah. He's continually doing the whole non-coding and junk DNA are synonymous. He does that.
I think they would stop that by now.
No. To be fair, the video is, I think, like 8 years or something old, but also it was not true then either. It's actually never been true that those two terms.
It's never been true. You could go to 1960 and it wouldn't be true.
Yeah. So yeah. Then on Thursday, we are having I'm doing a premiere. So Evolution Disproven by Fish Tans, which is actually a mirror of a stream that I did over on Dan's channel. Back in August of 2025, I did a stream on Dan's channel. And yeah, I'm going to be premiering it here. So if you missed it there, maybe you can see it here. Or you could do both. You could watch it in both places if you wanted. Yeah.
I just want to comment on that of just like how far ahead you are on your content. It makes me feel bad about my dedication to my content.
Well, this is my day job.
That's fair. That's
Right?
fair.
Like,
That's fair.
You have to do things like teach people and like make lesson plans and
I have
grade.
to corrupt the youth.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
corrupting the youth is a full-time job.
this is how I corrupt the youth.
Indoctrination.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
So that is going to be on Thursday. So that is also going to be a fairly long video. That is, I think, 2 hours and like 19 minutes. So, bring a drink, bring some popcorn. That will be at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. Then on Friday, the plan is to do part 2 of the Plague of Arias over on Top Hats Off, which is the Star Trek game. Jordan will be there, presumably.
Should be.
Yeah, that's the plan. I like to say presumably because, like, I don't know, maybe something will come up. It could happen. Maybe you'll get hurt. I don't know. I hope not.
Wow.
Maybe
it has to be that.
Maybe I'll get
maybe
hurt.
something good will happen.
Well,
Yeah, maybe something good will happen.
What could be better than playing Star Trek Adventures?
I
Really?
could think of one thing.
All right. Well, I can think. Okay, yeah, no, that's fair.
Don't say it out loud. Don't.
Yeah. If that happens, then yeah, we'll probably won't have that stream. I'll have a different stream. Is
Yeah.
probably what'll happen.
Yeah.
I definitely don't already have a thumbnail for it.
It's like that SNL bit where you've got like different recorded bits for all of the different potential ways.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, I just lost my train of thought entirely. Oh, right, Saturday.
Gerald
Yeah.
Ford shot dead today. Senseless Sage of A4.
So on Saturday, the plan is to be back with Kip and Vishanti for more. Hope it might even be the last episode with that Nick from Signs and Wonders and his buddy Fat Ass Dog, which is what the guy calls himself. So I am not insulting him here. That is his own chosen name here on the internet. Sometimes he adds Emperor onto the end of it, so it's Fat Ass Dog Emperor. So that's fun.
Is he the emperor of the fat ass dogs, or is he?
I think he's an emperor who happens to be a fat ass dog.
Gotcha. Okay.
Assistant manager, assistant to the manager.
Yeah, exactly. And there is actually one thing I forgot. So on Monday, I'm going to be over on Craig McNeil's channel, FTFE, with Kip, and we're going to be continuing to talk about what's in the Bible, because apparently Craig needs a third wheel, because I have no idea what I'm going to add that Kip couldn't add, except, obviously, for my superior charisma. So, there is that. But other than that, I think that covers me for about a week worth of what's coming up. So, I hope that I see all of you on Monday over at Craig's channel, and then again on Tuesday for Jackson with Jackson. And also, like I said, hey, I'm really, really close to that 15K, and I would very much appreciate it if we could get there. So, like, I don't know, subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Make sure you hit like and use the share button. In fact, if you use the share button on YouTube, it gets a slightly different URL that tells YouTube that this video view is actually coming from someone who has shared the view. So it actually helps me with the algorithm more. So don't just copy the URL from the top of the browser. Use the share button. It's more effective. So, only use the URL at the top of your browser for videos you don't like, but you still want other people to see, like to hate watch. That's what you use that
There
for.
you go.
Yeah.
The more you know.
Yeah. All right.
A Dapper, important question. When you hit 15K, is there going to be a 15K,
Oh yeah.
thing?
Yeah. I
Good.
know I have ideas on who I'm going to invite, and present company is in fact included. And also, I think I'm going to continue my coverage of a stream that Donnie did, in which I have censored his face, obviously. But with someone who claims to be an Egyptologist, whose main argument is that the Ogdoad is actually a misremembered version of Noah's family, which is it's a lot.
Now, here's the important question about this Egyptologist. Is he doing an Indiana Jones cosplay?
He wasn't that I remember, so that's unfortunate. But
Because that's like half of Donnie's guess at this point.
yeah, it does
There's
seem
a lot
to
of
be a
there's a lot of
common
them
theme.
around.
I'm waiting for one of them to have a pith helmet, though. That'd be more fun.
That would be significantly more. I don't know what the right word is, but there's no positive word for that.
Well, okay, but to be fair, they were actually very practical, because in addition to being white, which reflects a lot of sunlight, you also were supposed to dip them in water, which would then evaporate, causing evaporative cooling. So, like, they are very
Cool.
practical.
Very practical. Also,
Yeah.
basically an icon of colonialism and racism.
Yeah, there's
Very
that too.
practical.
I mean, I'll be honest though, if I were about to die of like heat stroke or something in the middle of like
You
sub-Saharan
wear the pith
Africa,
helmet if you-
I'd
yeah.
wear the pith helmet. Yeah, absolutely. I'd be like, you know what? Don't care. Dunk it in some water,
Does-
put it on my head.
Who remembers during Trump 1.0 when Melania visited some African country and she wore a pith helmet?
Yeah.
Yeah, that
I
was
didn't have to
bad.
think about that.
Well, you're welcome.
I'm just glad that Markiplier beat her several times over at the box office. Good job, Markiplier. I really appreciate it. And I still need to go see your movie, because everyone's like, oh, it's a slow burn cosmic horror. I'm like, that sounds exactly like what I want to watch. That sounds like that's like you made it for me. So I guess, I don't know, go see Iron Lung. Tell Hollywood to shove it. And with that, the last thing I will say is ice must be abolished. And we're out of here.
Hey, before you leave, I just want to take a second to thank my patrons and channel members, especially those pledging $20 or above. Siluf, Benthovend, Tapioca Weasel, Sphincter of Doom, Regios, Landon, Ian Chen, Elleron Teller, Phil Ravara, Kelvin Brostok von Mennen, David Hercules, Joshua Geese, Pegajace, The Plastic Mouse, Arrow Dodger, Gordon Love Science, Ember Athelian, Prixie Purple, Agricola Siqua, Me, Myself, and I, Edwin M., Kenneth Swenson, Lance Hall, and John Ackerman. It's because of my channel members and patrons whom you're seeing on screen that this channel can stay afloat. Without you, it would all shut down. If you want to join the team, there's a link to join the channel below this video, and there's a link to join the Patreon in the description. On the Patreon, you can get a 15% discount for pledging annually, and either way, you get early access to virtually all of my scripted videos months before they come out for the general public. Thanks for watching.